so happy right now. We're literally like the happiest we could ever be. We're the happiest we could ever be. What the frick? October 6th. Sorry, well, technically there was an upload. I just didn't put it on the YouTube archive. So October 5th, it was like a day of like, you know, but we were just outside, you know, we were just doing the thing. But we have such a cool little like nook location right now while we're getting work done and just like having such a good time and like having a great like life in general. Yeah, this is totally the frequency. It's like today under the Aries full moon. Also, happy fucking full moon. Let's like, go ahead and do the fucking full moon thing. But yeah, we're at this place where it's like allow the Aries full moon to do the thing to like super blast out like all of the Eight of Cups, the things that are just kind of at this point requiring you to fill them up. And then once you remove the weight of that, right, because there's a correlation. So the first thing I'll say about this moon is now we all see, oh, maybe this is why Spirit tells me like to watch who I'm around, because the prevalence of non-truth will cause reverberations. The reverberations will be the Seven of Swords. So you can't have something in your life that is untrue for you without it affecting the things that are true for you. How are they going to affect? Well, because that non-truth that you keep clutching onto, like for example, me and my family and my upbringing and like the expectations of like the role I have to play there when that family was kind of constructed without consciousness, is something that I can like release at this time from playing the role of, or from like forcing myself to come back to, just because if that is like ultimately an untrue like experience or force in my life, then it's gonna make me, for example, my family now at this point is starting to like really try to unravel my marriage. And it's like with a marriage, like you're not gonna be looking for evidence the rest of your life post getting married that this person is a fraud. Like you're doing it wrong. If you've gotten to the altar, then you should have been already in the verification process that this is in fact the person God made for me. Since why else would you be marrying? So it'd be a stupid thing to do if you weren't sure of that. So, you know, it's something that I've learned, that it's like, oh, I get to know what can go now. And even though it was painful, and even though it seemed like I was scared about my own ability, like I actually did have my own back throughout this transitionary period. That was just my responsibility to like have my own back, get myself through. But now that it's Monday and it's just like this beautiful new timeline where I've been like separated off the timeline, like where I'm not going back to the timeline that I was on. So like whatever it needs to be, like it is what it is. But I have my own foundation in my hand, and I also have my 10 of Cups. So again, I think a lot of us are realizing that now, like even if the things seemed unrelated, because it could just be two completely different aspects of your life, it's like the transformation that was coming is because like the 10 of Cups has to be protected. That feeling has to be protected at all costs. And if we don't realize that this other thing that is just non-truth, or is like obligatory, or is just like, you know, being contrived or controlled in any way or manipulated in any way, actually does take up the space now, like you see, and so it's almost as an instant. When you let the Reaper come, it takes all the skeletons too. Like when this is finally put to rest, you notice how it's like, oh, it's so much easier. Like I think for me, my telepathic channel suffers. Like the things that I hear and know to be true, well, it's because of all this other evidence of non-truth that I keep in my life that's making it difficult. So let's just get to the reading. So that's like the biggest opening thing with the Aries full moon, is like Aries is going to make you be all the way truthful. And it's a good thing. It's like all the things that are really like from the heart space and are really like positive in that way don't really change. I think the biggest thing that we're experiencing now could be like everything else. But this is where like your lover was there. It's kind of like how I felt about Dennis. It's like my life was all in the shitter, but when I met him, it was just this. I was already independent, and it was just like the perfect time. And in fact, it was 2016, right off the end of that year, which was like me and Dennis's like flop year for sure, that we found one another, right? The 5 of Cups is kind of like a year where we were like forcibly like emotionally reinvesting ourselves. So I think it's kind of always been like ordained this way, that this would come and be offered in this time, because I think from the opposite end, these things are manifest. When you manifest something, you like don't, when it's something that you feel is really for you, you're also sending out signals of desire that like, I don't want this to reject this, because I just don't feel like there's a reality where it doesn't. So if that's what you're manifesting on, it is kind of the reason why like people have to really be standing on business sovereignly and independently, because at least now we can't blame, manipulate. Like even if right now it might have been hard, I'm so glad that I just kind of floated above it, because the real thing is like this was always coming in, and I just need to be like in the proper state of mind. I feel like also you can see destiny playing out at this time, where it's like if it's meant to happen, it's not going to be stopped, especially in terms of your internal like development and whatever. So, we're doing all of the things, but yeah, I feel like the most important part was that we were conscious all the way through this. We were deeply feeling, and we were also deeply like participating. So it's like we're deeply letting go of shit. Like we're deeply saying, yeah, that's a mess, that's spilling. But it's also kind of just like at this point in the way something that can just give to me because it really is like designed Knight of Cups to like love unconditionally, and be in union with me instead of like the, emotional instability type of frequency. So good. Oh my God, of course it's coming in with the full moon. I feel like 5 years ago we got this call with the full moon, That was kind of just like, get a head start on the karma now kind of thing. The Hierophant. Because I'm just getting a whole new understanding of the Hierophant, where it's like that chariot that's there for you in the end is like, I know, isn't that crazy? But that's just the cost of like coming to New Earth. Let's roll, type of thing. Because people just want to make sure and understand why someone like me and Dennis wouldn't already be in New Earth commanding our shit, There's a reason. So if there was karma that had to be cleared, it had to be cleared. Type of thing. So we're really in celebratory grounds, is what Spirit's saying. It's like, you can't even lose because you're in a completely new world that you fought very hard to be in. But Queen of Cups, the moon. Yeah. And it just comes from like, maybe with God, it's like, this is the moon that it's going to happen under. It just happens like that. When you think of ancient prophecy, it's like the day of the red sun, there's some shit like an avatar or whatever, but then it's like, it just is. Wow, it's just such an opposite experience. Here comes the Five of Pentacles. They're going to put you out. You already knew this, But it's really like the change. You get what I'm saying? This is like leaving the religious sector and going like with God, Leaving the church and following Christ. Because you're with the eternal, Whatever you could get there, it's like it always made things feel unstable and it felt like you were always outside of it anyway. So you move on to an experience where it's just like, well, what's always consistent? Like after all of these changed environments, like I think at this point me and you were ready to like do something to be on our own just because we had enough comparative experiences. And it helped us see that was just like the wrong path. Again, oil and water don't mix type of frequency. Like it's not that every road is blocked to us, it's just like the ones that aren't for us. But I'm glad I left in love. Like I knew what I was closing out, right? I knew High Priestess what I was closing out was just like a crucifixion. Because I want to be coronated in a different experience. I wanted to kill off that like Alexis Taylor frequency. Complete that. And like I said, like we just experienced like my dad and everybody being like, okay, you have a right to become a morning star. 4 Pentacles. I think there's something that comes in that's like a whole foundation gets delivered. And that's really when it's like you think you're emotionally reinvesting now, it's like wait till you really like emotionally reinvest. Type of freak. Because it goes from the jump is from the 5 of Cups to the 9 of Cups, which is 4 cups, right? Clearly when it's like you're feeling like it's like God comes like right in the perfect time. Like you could just be like, yeah, we were just totally independent. Everything was completely closed off. I was super open-hearted. I was super aware of what like wasn't for me. I was super ready for like what was. that seems kind of like when the time is. Ten of Pentacles. The right timing. Ace of Pentacles. It's the right time for this. And it's like, there it is. Because this is just like the most beautiful documentation of like the biggest rebirth, like Ten of Swords. Like this is just like when my life changes for me, like the identity really changes. Yeah, the recent past, Two of Cups. I think it was just like a period of like identifying that and then like building it. Yeah, it's a lot, but I think about how much, yeah, Nine of Swords. But you're an Empress, you know? Nine Swords of spiritual initiation is nothing for an Empress. Wow. Scorpionic influence. There is a transformation that's going to come and rebalance the financial aspect. Equal give and take. The wheel. Beautiful. That's our near future. So beautiful. Again, it is pretty astronomical what we're enduring, but it also is just like making a case for why it's like you're the end, like right, like furthermore, like you're exactly like who Homestiva we are actually in fact looking for. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like how it's feeling. Hey there. So yeah, that at least is abundantly clear. So we'll go out with it, and then we'll get going and go get some food ski and water and chill. Wow, 7 of it. Yeah, I think too, this just kind of comes back down to it. Look at that. It kind of comes back down to it where it's like, dude, at the end of the day, like, you do have to get, there's like a removal of one, like input and data, and the input of another. You get me? Like, it's kind of like, okay, well, with BRC, like, I think that's something that your family's not processing. It's like, no, that had to happen at some point where it's like, well, we're disconnecting now from this, because even the feedback and the things they said about you overnight don't really matter in this new world, because it's like, oh wait, I'm just like here now. What's going on here now? Whoa. Judgment in the Tower. Yeah, the timing is really impeccable. Oh my God, look at this pair. I think the only reason we couldn't even see the Page of Cups, this is the last thing I'll say, we couldn't even see the Page of Cups for what it really was back in the day, because, like I said, Dennis right now is his Aries club. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like this, we're getting to the root. Like, this Aries, it's almost like this Aries full moon is like, until this Aries full moon, like, you let it come and crash and, like, take out what it's going to take out. Yeah, the deception. I think that's why. I think you're going to go back and be like, oh, so that's exactly what things are. But I think that's the thing is, like, you thought it was everybody else waiting on you, but it's actually you who's not. It's like, that's what I'm hearing. It's like water in your ear. It's like the way that someone's love for you will sound if there's, like, water in your ears. it's like the Aries, the moon is about to like get that out. Yeah, literally like the source of a headache. Being like extracted at this time. Wow, lots of flowers. And that's what I'm saying. I truly want to be very serious and say, like, we would have died already if we were, like, this is, like, the extremities of a situation that has no, like, preparedness for anything. We've been, like, told to just kind of raw dog it, because it's supposed to work out. Like, that's, like, kind of what my instruction is as a director right now, is, like, to, like, make this as extreme as possible. Not really, like, do anything to do that, but just, like, be in the extremities of what is happening now. Because it's supposed to be that it was always supposed to be that we were going to get, like, flowers at this time. Mm-hmm. Of course. A blue jay right now. So special. And I'm just sure that, like, you know, the people that are for me in my life know that, like, when I'm taken up by all this other shit, it's just, like, hard. So thank you to anyone who, like, knows that love is there. Like, I think about my husband every day where it's like, that's my incentive to get through this shit, you know? I can't make Dennis go back through some shit like that again. No. You know, because Dennis is actually for me. And, like, when I just, like, if I leave your space and I just think all I can really remember is the feeling of, like, not feeling like home is where I'm happy, but rather, like, where I'm, like, literally not free. Like, I just, it doesn't really matter what it is. Mm-hmm. Right. Huh?
I can feel it's like it's making its way.
Oh, good. I have high hopes for your recovery. But yeah, we have no reason to not expect loving flowers and just like well done, and like you're gonna get to really rest after this. And I really will take all fucking however many days I have until November 4th, but also until our wedding, to just recover and relax and take it easy. This has been the project of a lifetime. This has been the journey of a lifetime with you, Den. I'm having a really emotional moment right now. I think this is my last YouTube archive video. I'm so serious. Yes.
I mean, I'm sitting here, like, just engaging the energy, and I feel like the energy feels like I feel like you said, like, just felt like, wow, like...
You know, the 5-year anniversary of the Hierophant, it's, like, my last... Holy cow, like, not that I won't, like, circulate, I just don't know that I have to keep, like, adding to this space, because, like, I feel like this journey is, like, complete.
Wow, I'm so excited because, yeah, I think, like, the level of, like, what we're ready for now, and, like, the way it's, like, to get from, like, what we want next, and what we actually, like, we said we're ready for, and I feel like it's gonna actually be from, like, yeah, like, setting the pencils down, the utensils down, and, like, the old shit, and then, like, completely...
Yeah, completely new.
Because that's how I felt after St. Jesus. It was like, oh shit, wait, like, I heard God say, like, that's it, like... It's
time for me to end this archive for sure, like... Thank you guys so much. I think 289 videos on this public free archive is like a great service to the world. I can no longer work for free, however, so we're going to the next phase of Tea Stew, but what a labor of love this has been. I guess I feel like I've already announced this on the archive, but if I haven't, this is the perfect time to announce that the final and last bit of like work that I have to do here that I'll be keeping up is I'm still just like finishing and toiling away, but be on the lookout, probably top of 2026, for the new Black American Vanguard is a non-employee, my first ever memoir novel that we've been working on this year, and I feel like that's kind of like, yeah, where I'm at right now. It's like, whoa, like this is the last message. It's like, oh, okay, great, you know, but this is like my offering. This is like my, you know, whatever. And this is how bright you can think. And I feel like at this point, like I can close out like this exploration for myself as a character study, as just a character in this, you know, online series, and say that, you know, with this Aries full moon, we're like completing the whole cycle. Like we're super done. And it ends in the most liberated place, where like it's all the things that had to go were illusionary, things that were in the way that were making you think you didn't have what you have. So now that you know that you have what you have, take flight. I don't even think you feel anything is blocked. That's what I mean. Like, it was only ever just a performance. It was all just a show. Oh my gosh, you guys have watched me transform. Holy cow. Thank you so much for the time of my life, truly. Like, truly the time of my life. Yeah, we're going to different platforms now. I've gotten the full sun illumination of my creative new beginning, but now it's time for the curtain call. 3-3.
Yeah, that's like that's one of the, you know, the only things that like the real recovery be. Then I'm just seeing how it's like every after like